Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. I've got Robert Glazer, founder and CEO of Acceleration Partners on the show. Robert, welcome to the show.
Michael, good to be here.
All right, today we're going to talk about the importance of company culture. Bring that out for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's a famous quote that culture eats strategy for lunch. And I think that particularly in today's competitive market where your technology can be obsoleted overnight or your product cannot be relevant, I think culture is a pretty consistent competitive advantage for companies. We've got unemployment at an all-time low, and most of my friends who are running businesses, getting great people and keeping great people is their number one issue.
I agree with you. It is. The things that we need to think about in any industry, especially somebody at the CEO level or C-suite level, is, excuse me, how do you train employees to deliver an unforgettable customer experience?
Yeah, so I think that comes out of defining, again, your culture and who you want to be. There's a lot of people who believe that you have happy clients, it makes happy employees. I think it's impossible to have happy clients without starting with happy employees. That's what makes clients happy. So if you want an incredible experience delivered to your clients, then you have to have people who really believe in that company, are excited to work there. It's hard to be, inauthentic. If you think about somewhere like Southwest and the service that they deliver, that comes out of their culture. So I know there's a lot of debates about chicken and egg on sort of which are the most important stakeholders. But I think Simon Sinek said, customers will never love a company if the employees don't love it first.
That gets down to the question of motivation and taking your employees' mindset into the advocate level, so that they're actually advocates for the brand, for the process, for the company, and for the leadership. Can you talk to that for a moment?
Sure. I think the most important thing, I think there's 5 components to a company having a great culture, and then it aligns to what you said. I think you need a vision, a clear place on where you're going. You need values, you need goals and targets, and then all of those things are modified by consistency and by clarity. You need clear targets, you need consistent targets. You need clear value, you need a consistent target. So what a company is basically, the most important thing a company could do, it says, here's where we're going, here's what we are, here's the targets we value, here's everything. We believe this, we act this way, and if you're excited about that journey, join us and you should be all in. And if something about that is not exciting or doesn't interest you because you totally realize that, you're a running quarterback and you're a throwing quarterback and we're running offense, then you probably, need to step off at this point. So to me, that's the great definition of a culture, is just that it defines who it is and it's consistent. It's not going to be for everyone. But when you get everyone on the same page, they're excited about where the company's going. They're excited about how the company makes decisions. They believe that everyone acts within those boundaries. Then I think you really can get people to do what you want them to do, and to do that, the key is to do that authentically, not asking them to do something that they just don't believe in and aren't on board for.
I get it. And it resonates really well with me. Tell me and our audience about the benefits, that the customers, their growth and the employee referrals, how that interweaves with what we've been talking about already.
Yeah, there's the notion of an employment brand these days, and that you have a brand as an employer, and that makes it more likely that people are applying to you and that people are referring people to you and keeping great people. Look, we're in a service business, so we are delivering fundamentally people as a service, and our ability to have great people and keep those people is why people hire us. I don't know how you can be in the service business and not focus on making sure that you're getting great people and retaining great people. Because I know, look, we've all been clients to other service businesses, right? And the biggest frustration is when your account manager turns over every 6 months, and you're like, look, I don't want to reintroduce myself to this firm all over again, and that's what ends up, I think, to people leaving.
I get that. And just on that note, let's stay there for just a second. That means you've got to be able to find people that believe in you, that will stick with you, because sometimes businesses fluctuate, and sometimes they'll be riding a wave, and then there'll be a plateau and pullback. It's a natural course of any business. just from a C-level position, how do you instill and keep that level of enthusiasm in a place where you have direct communication or on the front line with your clients? You've got to be able to keep that level of enthusiasm to the point where it spills out to the clients. How do you keep those people on board with that when things get a little tough in business?
Yeah, I think this just comes down to authenticity. So in seeing company after company after company, there are a lot of definitions of great cultures. I always like to tell the story of two companies. There's one that's started by an ex-athlete and they value competition, and the top 20% of the people get bonuses and everyone else agrees with that, and they're about growing 50%, and everyone says, great, I get it. This is what this company values. It's, we win or we lose or whatever. And then there's another company that values steadiness and consistency and not rocking the boat. And they're both great cultures. But I think if one of those CEOs tried to pretend that he or she was in the other culture, it wouldn't work. And so I think what people look for the good and the bad times is authenticity. Look, are we not changing our values? Are we keeping the same behavior? Are we being transparent? Are we talking about these things? I don't think there's a universal sense of a great culture. I think there are things we think about great cultures, treating people nice, paying people well. But to me, one that just says, hey, look, this is really who we are. This is what we do. Like my behavior, if my culture is authentically who I am, my behavior should not change as we move up and move down. I'm not repositioning things based on what I think people want to hear. I'm just being consistent all the way through.
And authentic all the way through the entire line of chain of command in your company. I get it. That's perfect.
And you could be an authentic, real hardliner, right? And there are people that like that. Maybe their parents were tough on them, and they go, I like this kind of culture, and this person's consistent. They say it. What you can't do is hire people and tell them we're really laid back and we're hands off and we do this stuff, and then kind of be in their face about everything. I mean, what frustrates employees more than anything is not I think it is worse to preach and say you do one thing and not do it than to say nothing at all.
Well put. All right, Robert, thanks for being a guest on the show. You've been really great and great insights.
Thanks so much.
My pleasure. You've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.